Alright guys, I'm back with my review of Dexter Season 8, Episode 1, A Beautiful Day. This is the first episode of the last season of Dexter. And it starts off 6 months later from LaGuerta's murder. And the first thing I noticed was, holy shit, Harrison's gotten big now. But I was disappointed they didn't explain LaGuerta's murder. They just kind of said, well, she shouldn't have been going off on her own. What the hell is that? So they think Estrada killed her, but they don't explain the fact that Debra's gun was the murder weapon? Like, how are you going to start the season off this way? It just jumps 6 months into the future. It's basically saying, forget about all that stuff. Just focus on this now. So I thought that was kind of lame. Well, we see Dexter talking to the other guys in the Force, Batista, Quinn, Masuka. He hasn't heard from Debra in over a month. She quit the Force. Now she's a private investigator. Batista took over as lieutenant. So we see Debra. She's doing drugs now with some guy, Andrew Briggs. He's actually the guy she's supposed to be bringing in, but she's having sex with him and doing drugs with him. So she's just on this downward spiral. And Dexter's trying to find her. He goes to her work and wants to know what case she was working on. So the head of the private investigator's place tells him, and Dexter tries to look at her credit card activity, and he guesses her password. On the second try, he guesses her password. So that was kind of ridiculous, but he goes to meet her at the store she frequents, and she just doesn't want to talk to him. She actually says that she shot the wrong person that day. So she's just really pissed off at Dexter. He has no choice. He just leaves, and he's really upset, and on the way home he tries to strangle a guy that cuts him off. We see that Jamie is still sleeping with Quinn, and then they find a body, and Dexter goes to pick up the head of the body, and the back of the skull just falls off. And we see that the killer has scooped out a piece of the brain. So they bring in a profiler to try and catch this guy, and you're instantly thinking, okay, this is going to be a problem for Dexter. And then she wants to talk to Dexter, and she's asking him about the Bay Harbor Butcher, what he was like. And watching this, I'm like, are you telling me this woman is already on to Dexter after just looking at him? But there's more to that later. So Dexter goes to ask Tom Matthews about the new profiler. Tom Matthews, this dumbass, cannot put two and two together still. The fact that LaGuerta was looking into Dexter and now she's dead, this doesn't bother Tom. So Debra calls Quinn to look into this guy El Sapo, and Quinn tells Dexter about it, and Dexter finds out that El Sapo was actually a hitman, and this guy Andrew Briggs is supposed to be selling him jewelry. But really, El Sapo's there to kill Andrew Briggs, and Dexter's afraid that Debra might get killed in the process. So he drives to the hotel to warn Debra, and she comes outside and just lays into him, says that she doesn't care what happens to her. After what she did to LaGuerta, nothing really matters anymore. She's not like Dexter. She can't continue living her life without feeling any remorse. And Andrew Briggs comes out, and Dexter tries to grab Debra, and Andrew Briggs gets into a fight with Dexter, and Dexter just stabs him. So at this point, you have to feel bad for Debra. She leaves. She's run away from Dexter to try and forget about this, and then he shows up and kills the person she's with. So she tells Dexter that he's lost, and he's the one who needs her, and he should leave. So he leaves. She calls in the murder. She tells the police that she was working undercover, and she found his body, and she goes to leave, and then we see the hitman is now following Debra. And the next day, the profiler hands Dexter an envelope full of these pictures he drew as a kid, these disturbing pictures, and Dexter grabs her, and she says, "You can't kill me, I don't fit Harry's code." So that's the way the episode ended. A lot of stuff happened here. I have to say, I'm interested in the storyline right now. I hope it's a great season. This is the final season of Dexter. Hopefully they can pull everything together and have some really great writing this season. But yeah, I don't really know where they're going with this. I try to avoid the previews at the end of the episodes because I don't want any spoilers. I just like to sit and watch it. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen with this new woman, but I like her character a lot. So there were a few things I thought were disappointing, them not really going into detail about LaGuerta's murder, stuff like that. But overall, I do have to say I enjoyed this episode. So that's my review of the first episode of Dexter Season 8. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this episode in the comments, and thanks for watching.